Welcome back everyone to another episode in the Titanium series. Today I have for you a Clyde Challenor Customs Viper. Clyde Challenor is a South African knife maker, and in 2014 is when he started making handmade knives. Later that year, he joined forces with Francois Nel, who was a fellow knife enthusiast, and they developed Clyde Challenor Customs. Let's take a look at the measurements. Overall, we're coming in at very close to 8 inches. And it has a cutting edge just shy of 3.5 inches. The handle coming in about 4.5 inches. The width is under 1.25 inch. And the thickness is about 1/2 inch, not including the pocket clip. The weight's coming in shy of 4 ounces. It's got good weight to it. It's doesn't feel too heavy. You've seen some of my other videos. I have commented stating that between 4 and 5 ounces is ideal carry weight for myself. Let's talk about the blade. So this has a sheep's foot like blade where it's a combination between that and a reverse Tanto. It's classified as a reverse Tanto on his website. It's completely sterile and it uses M390 steel. It's a front flipper. As you can see, there's jimping along this part of the blade. It's very easy to actuate. Take a look at that jimping. As you can see, it becomes more refined as you get towards the back right here by the blade stop pin. Provides good traction. It's not too aggressive. It won't tear up your thumb from repeated openings. Let's take a look at the blade. Let's take a look at the handle. This is a titanium handle using a frame lock, and there is a bit of a cutout right here, so it's easy access. Get your thumb in there. It has a over travel stop, which doubles up as a lock bar insert. It's got his CCC right there. So get this in focus. And some milling done, a little design. I really like how they inserted these two areas so you can't see any screws on the presentation side. It's got some designs on this side as well. Uses Torx screws for the hardware as well as the pivot. got it reminds me of a Chris Reeve sandblasting. It's a little more smooth than a Chris Reeve Sebenza, but it has the color is reminiscent of their plain Jane models. Let's talk about the pocket clip. This is titanium. You can't see the screws, so what that is that it's inside, right there. And so to take this pocket clip off, you would have to disassemble the knife first. The retention feels slightly stiffer than what I would prefer. It has enough ramp to get through most thicknesses of pant material. Let's take a look at that in the pocket. Go. It doesn't take up too much real estate. It's relatively slim profile. There's quite a bit of knife that sticks out right there. Retention, slightly stronger than what I'm used to or what I would prefer, but I would say from a scale of 1 to 5, it's probably a 4, 4.25. Let's talk about availability and price point. I got this a year and a half ago off of the secondary market, Blade Forums, and I paid $540. If you order directly from them, which is the only method of purchasing that I am familiar with outside of the secondary market, it is currently going for $900 for the base model, which I am under the impression will be this model right here. They offer up other options too, different scale material and steel types. And as usual, I'll post a link for you to look at that information in the description. I've seen a few of these pop up on the secondary market. So if you keep your eyes on there, you might be able to find one. What are my final thoughts? Is this worth a try? I would say so, especially if you are a fan of the work, the designs from South African knife makers. They make some amazing blades, and they're simplistic, at least in my opinion. Nothing overly fancy, even though there are some out there that have exotic materials on their knives. I've seen a couple versions of the Viper that have those exotic materials, but I'm very much a simplistic titanium knife guy, so I opted for this one when I saw it pop up. Ergonomics are good. There's chamfering all around, so there's no real hot spots, anything that's sharp sticking out. It's a little blocky right here, but since it's lightly chamfered, it doesn't feel boxy in the hand. There's even chamfering around the pocket clip, so when it's in your hand, it's not creating any hot spots either. If you start getting into knives in this price range, I personally think this is a good option. Very well done. The fit and finish is all on point. Something you come to expect from South African knife makers and for knives in this price point. Um, I personally don't think I would spend $900 for this. But if you find one on the secondary for around the $500 mark, $600, I think that's worth a try. You'd have a good chance of reselling it if you didn't like it and wouldn't expect to take much of a loss. I wouldn't call this a must-have in my collection. It's more of a nice-to-have. But I have sharpened it up, I've used it, and it cuts very well. That reverse Tanto blade shape will give you piercing ability. Yeah, when I called it a sheep's foot, that was my mistake. This is absolutely a reverse Tanto. All right, if you enjoyed the review, please leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you have this one in your collection as well, and I would love to hear your thoughts. And make sure you subscribe to get notified for the next video. And I hope everybody keeps it jumping like a trampoline.